You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
Together we are
Row
Break. How's every single one of you, family? Welcome to the NXT UK review, a show that is always decent all the way to extremely good, but on this one I think we're gonna keep it on decent. It's one of those weeks that you always say is hey, let's keep the crowd excited, but for what's to come. So, we had good matches, we had not too good matches, and also great promos, and we're going to have a really loaded show for next week, so we're looking forward to that. How do you feel, Paul?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We even say with, NXT on Tuesdays, we say, sometimes they have a down week because they're building to the next week or two is going to be really big, and that's all this was. We saw the first match in the tournament to determine #1 contender. That was the main event, and it's okay, that's, something that it's main event worthy, but then everything else on the show, it's okay, Amel versus
Nina Samuels.
Yeah, Nina Samuels. And then the first match, Morgan Webster versus Wolfgang. It's just what? The show, but really all the promos and everything else that they hyped for next week and the weeks to come and Takeover 36 is,
it helped out to get the show going. Thank you so very much for being with us. Thank you for all the love and support that you give in the social media waves. And don't forget to keep supporting the video for the AEW Dynamite review. The final chapter for Chris Jericho after those 4 labors is MJF. He actually looked maybe injured out. I don't want to say it is, but he went to finally Wardlow, like you said, a stipulation that nobody even questioned that. Maybe they said it when the show started. We didn't pick up on it, but MJF went from being the referee to just being ringside. So a pretty AEW-esque show. And actually they didn't break 1 million, which I said they were going to. They did. They actually did 937 this week.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. Nobody knew that the stipulation was going to just be mysteriously changed for no reason at all. But the rest of the show, there was no real big matchups. The one thing of note that you and I are excited for, because we are fans of Impact Wrestling, is that, Christian is going to be going against Kenny Omega, and I think he's going to lose the title to Christian because Kenny's not doing anything with it. And, that'll be a big name for Impact to be hey, this is our champion. And there's tons of guys who he can wrestle on Impact, have great matches. Christian versus even Brian Myers, Matt Cardona, let's hey, exactly. You guys are main event. I can carry you guys, not even carry you, but you and I can have a great match for a title. So
and they can create a lot of buzz. Yeah. Exactly. So that's what happened. So don't forget to watch that. And like you said, Wolfgang and Morgan Webster, we're gonna have a match, kind of like you said, kind of spicing it up for what is going to be the tournament for the Heritage Cup to determine #1 contender for that particular championship. So Webster actually slapped Wolfgang last week. So that was kind of okay, the rivalry match, like you said. Webster did a lot of offense of Wolfgang, and like you said, I wasn't really into this because it wasn't even for the cup, so it's just a rivalry made out of a slap. But I think that in the end, the right winner and also Morgan Webster didn't look that bad. Actually got look better than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this matchup, if you were just looking at the moves that were done to each other, it was, I would say, pretty even. But it was one of the things where you look at it and the match should have been a little bit more one-sided, but I know Morgan Webster, a lot of his offense, you saw it didn't really knock down Wolfgang. So it's still, there's still no, Wolfgang's legit. He can barely even knock this guy down to one knee. And, the match was good because they really are pushing subculture. And speaking of subculture, we're going to see, Mark Andrews in the main event. And I was really thinking, man, are they going to have both members of Subculture lose? And then when Morgan Webster lost here, it really got me a gut feeling oh, man, are they really going to job out Noam Dar in the main event? Because, can Subculture, a group that's, they're popular, but I wouldn't say they're that over, can they really afford to lose, in 2 matches on the same show?
It's true. It's true. I agree with you. We got to see here almost Morgan Webster doing another one, a knee strike.
Yeah, really legit when he did the
Poison
reverse, Hurricane Rana. Yeah, the Poison Rana. And then, the big knee. I thought that was the ending. But then when he kicked out, it's okay, no, Wolfgang's going to win.
And Wolfgang actually delivers the spear the best out of a lot of people that I've seen. Not
his spear, he almost he spears you, but he holds on to you, picks you up, and slams you down.
Exactly. So that's how I think that spear should be delivered. Maybe Goldberg was closer to that. Maybe Batista and also the Big Show at some point. But, not Edge, not Roman is in the middle. So, like you said, Wolfgang gets the win. So that's, cool. And that's the beginning of the show. So, Paul, what do you think about this? We're going to see it in 2 weeks. A match that we've already seen so many times. But this is going to be finally to determine who the best man is. and it's going to be either knockout or submission match. Isn't that like like any like other ruling? That like I mean, it's not going to be painful.
Yeah,
at least knockout.
Yeah. This is it's almost just like a fight. Like if these guys were just fighting in a bar room, it's either till one guy's knocked out or till he says I give up. Whatever. There's no pin. There's nothing like that. There's no count out. This is just going to see. It was pretty much who's the tougher man, and that's knockout or submission. So this is good. We said if they're going to do these guys again for what is like the third, fourth time, it needs to be a stipulation. And that's what they did. So I have no problem.
So at least, and that also this guys, right? This like number one contender. There's nobody will say like you said, Vince hates that. But let's go like backtrack a little bit. Morgan Webster just lost, so they have side culture right there. Mark Andrews and Danny Luna, and it's like so out of nowhere we see the White Witch right there, Isla Dawn, and funny stuff. And I guess you start getting Danny Luna, and they're about to make out or something, and you see more Mark Andrews. Yee. Please keep doing it. Please keep doing so. I'm just gonna stand and watch. That's fine. Don't turn off the camera, please. And you see that maybe like there's gonna be a feud between the two here. But Isla Dawn, her character, I mean, she delivers the character so good.
Yeah, and I don't know what was going on because who was she feuding? It wasn't Stevie Turner. It was Amelia McKenzie.
Amelia McKenzie.
Yeah, she was
Amelia McKenzie
with her. So I mean, maybe Isla Dawn. I don't know if she's gonna have like a tag partner, and they're gonna have like some tag team matches, or they're just teasing feuds and stuff. But I do like this because then even the women's match we saw, it shows that they are really focusing on the entire women's division, not just who's challenging the champion and everyone else is just bullshit. No, they're actually building like a whole division.
Exactly, I agree with you. So that's really great, and we're going to see what they do with them. Also, like they interview right there, Mustache Mountain. We got to see Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, and then they're going to have the match for the tag titles, and Tyler Bate's like, I'm going to become like a Grand Slam on the NXT UK brand, and Trent Seven, I'm going to give you your first world title in the NXT UK. You saw for a minute, so and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be champion.
When he said that, I got a little bit of a hint. I'm like, is this like the seed? Are they digging the soil? Are they planting the first seed? Because he's like, yeah. He said, I'll be a Grand Slam champion, and I'm pretty sure he said, I'll get you
your first world title.
Exactly. Not you will earn them. I will do it.
And you saw the doubt in Trend 7 too. You saw the doubt. He's like, and
it's like.
Yeah,
because he's like, okay, you're my boy. I'll let it slide, but it's like,
it kind of hurt, like it's starting to sink in, So like more promo here, Sid Scala is talking to Jinny and also Jesus or Joseph Connors, and he just said like, pretty much they're gonna have a match also in it's not next week, I think, is it, or is maybe 1 week or 2 weeks?
I think they said 2 weeks. I believe
2 weeks. There you go. Exactly. So they said that they're going to have the rematch with Eva Valkyrie, and now this time Joseph Connor is going to be inside a steel cage, like a cage. So he's going to be right there, and then he's not going to be able to create any interference, and the match is actually going to be a no disqualification either.
And I love when when Jinny called him like a stupid little boy. And then he's just like, and Joseph, so you saw like it was the two emotions because Jinny even threw the chair, like, she was pissed. So you saw like she's all pissed, and Joseph Connors when he walks out, he's like, this changes nothing. He's like, the outcome,
the outcome will still be the same. This changes nothing. So good stuff. I mean, exactly. And what I like about the show, and you said it now, so I'm just going to reiterate, is just like everybody has at least something going on. Something like to work for, something like to fight for. It's not like, we're just here and we never get into even the show. So I like that. That's how it should be. Use your guys. That's why we have a lot.
We don't see the same people every week. Like, who we haven't seen for a while? Nathan Frazier. But when we're going to see him in the tournament, instead of having him on TV all these weeks, they said, hey, let's leave him off and we'll feature other people.
Exactly. For example, this week, no Blair Davenport. No Xia Brookside, they rotate them, and that's good because it keeps things fresh. So, like you said, Nina Samuels against Amel, a pretty decent match. Both women, they're getting in that level of having main event status. I think that these kind of matches are also good for them. Why? Because they keep preparing them for the future, for what's to come for both of them. And in this one, you said it a few weeks ago. You said Amel had a great performance with Meiko Satomura, great opportunity. She came short, but at least, everybody was convinced that she can be trusted with new things. There you go, a feud with Nina Samuels, and Amel gets the win. Really cool stuff, and she does this spine buster, that's her finisher. And what's the name? I don't know if you remember.
Think they call it the Hope Breaker.
The Hope Breaker. There you go. It's like a big spine buster, and Amel gets the win. There's not. I'm not going to say anything about the way she pins, but I leave that up to you guys. Really good style.
Yeah,
really good. And
the French Hope. She gives me hope.
Oh, hey, since the French Cup for all of us. I mean, but like, what do you think? I mean, pretty good match, right?
I mean, there was a couple spots like early on where she got the first, where Amel got like the first close pinfall. She hit like a neck breaker, and there was some kind of like when they were locked up, she didn't like hit it smooth. There was a little bit probably like so like like oh do this oh what's going on. So I would say a lack of just like like communication a little bit or something like that. It didn't seem real smooth at spots, but I'd rather have them be like that than just be like certain other shows where they just hurt each other.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, I think she's getting better. The match with Mako, I think, opened a lot of eyes to be like, okay, she's legit, and maybe she's one they're pushing. Either she's going to get another feud, or maybe to NXT on Tuesday, or who knows.
Exactly.
I think a lot of people's eyes now, and I've been saying it for the past week or so, are going to be on NXT UK because of them being featured on the show on Tuesday and now on Takeover.
And then Takeover, exactly. Yeah. So you mentioned that, and that's what they had another video package with Ilya Dragunov featuring the match with Walter. Really good, like kind of showcasing everything that happened during the first match and what is going to happen into like this one on Takeover 36. Hearing from Ilya how like he's ready this time. He didn't know what to expect. The first time he came, he did everything he could, yet he came short one more time. He couldn't do it. He couldn't get the job done. But this time is actually the opposite because he knows he's going to do it. So what did you think? I mean,
this promo was great.
The confidence is right there.
Yeah, because he talked about, the same thing about how the match was, it pretty much personified violence and everything, redefined the word violence. But he's like, everybody was just talking about that, but, nobody really thought about how, like, a match like that affects somebody. And he's like, yeah, I fell victim to that, but now, I've conquered it. I got past it. I know what I need to do to beat you. You were my nightmare and nightmares happen again. He's like, but now after this match, I'll be your nightmare, so it's all, great stuff. Cause he even called him a nightmare in the first promo, 9-10 months ago, whatever it was. So it's like, they keep that same
narrative. It sounds like the consistency.
Yeah. This is so good. And like we said, this is one guy where I'm going to say if he doesn't if he doesn't win, it's like, man, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like you build the guy up so much and then he loses again.
There's no way. There's no way. There's just no way. But also, there's no way that like these guys can actually be featured legit because we got to see Saxon Huxley.
You know what'll happen if Dragunov loses? Saxon Huxley will come up to him, and what will he say? Better luck next time.
Better luck next time, exactly. Better luck next time. He's just saying all of that, and then you see like he has like a stare down with the guys from Symbiosis. So we're gonna see a match here, and I mean, it sucks to be Saxon Huxley because the only reason that he shows up and like or he actually gets used, and the brand is like to lose. He's going to lose to probably to Dennis, and I don't know if I need that. I mean, these guys are good, but again, like, if there's no room for them, maybe? I don't know. But,
obviously, you're not going to be like...
for Huxley.
Yeah, and I mean, with Saxon Huxley, everybody looks at him. He even had the chain around his neck, so it's like, okay, he looks like Bruiser Brody, but you're not going to push the guy like Bruiser Brody because people would just be like, oh, you're just trying to, live off a legend's coattails. That's bullshit. So, they were kind of like, I don't know, maybe he's just like the joke version of Bruiser Brody or something. I don't know. But I wish they would just... Yeah, exactly. Like, I just wish they would use him better because I feel like,
they even Symbiosis use them better.
Yeah.
Like they had a lot of changes and everything. Eddie Dennis.
We'll see. Maybe he'll join him. Maybe it'll be a 3-man group. Who knows?
Maybe. Well, that would be better. So, like we mentioned, like the women's division. So we're going to talk about also Stevie Turner. Got a good promo. The girl is actually #1 contender now. They're going to have a match with Meiko Satomura, and it's fine because she's a good heel. She's been like poking at Meiko Satomura like she wants that opportunity. We're going to see what she's capable of doing next week when the title is on the line.
Yeah, and I think this is just another match. Okay, let's feature Stevie Turner. Hopefully it's the same thing that happens with Amel. Oh man, this girl's really good. Obviously the champ is going to retain. And, then you can do some with Stevie Turner. Maybe then she feuds with Amelia McKenzie. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe like, okay, instead of feuding McKenzie with Isla Dawn, they'll feud her with... Stevie Turner after this match. But I think this will be good. Mako is great, and I think she's really going to run through everybody. The first real threat to her is Davenport, I think.
Oh yeah, Davenport is going to be the first one. I agree with you. So like the next one is going to be the guys from Pretty Deadly, the tag team champions, just saying, like how they were like actually kind of like the performance center in the NXT UK. They were like found the sledgehammer, and they were like, oh, this is where history's made and everything.
Oh no, I think they were in actually like the WWE, like they called it like the warehouse where they have like all the stuff stored.
Yeah, the warehouse, and they're like, hey, look, with the sledgehammer, there's all the history's been made and all of that, and this is where we're gonna make our own history and everything. And this one, like, this changes, and then they show the pictures of Tyler Bate and also Trent Seven, and they're like from the game. I think it's 2K20. And then you throw them on the floor, and then they said that they're going to retain those titles. They step on them. So good promo. I mean, like you said, like they're going to retain the championships. They're not going to drop them to Mustache Mountain. So I'm okay with it. And good promo by the champs.
Yeah, I like this, and they called back to the line because when Mustache Mountain was cutting their promo, they said, how can you be the tag champs if you haven't beaten the best team in NXT UK, Mustache Mountain? And then, in this promo here by Pretty Deadly, they said, you know what, you are the best team, but you'll just be the best team that we've beat. Pretty much just like the best team that we've beaten so far.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the best, but you'll be the best that we've beaten.
That we beat, so exactly. So good promo by them. So now let's go to like the rules of the Heritage Cup. Like 6 3-minute rounds, 20-second breaks in between, 2 out of 3 falls. We said this before, but it's always good to reiterate for all the family that like never seen this before.
Yeah.
So pinfall, submission, count out, and also like once a fall, of course, the round ends. Winning like 2 falls, you get the victory. DQ or like RKO, no, just KO. Kevin Owens ends the match, and whoever leads after the 6th round wins. So let's go to like the match. What did you think of Noam Dar and Mark Andrews, Paul? At the beginning, the first 2 rounds, like we always mention this, is just like the kind of like get to know each other, like just more holds than anything, and not a lot of action. It's just really peaceful. Yeah, that's whatever. Really, I never care for those. I'm not a big fan of that.
This was, I mean, this wasn't too bad because it told the story. You saw like how cocky Noam Dar was, and how serious Mark Andrews was. When really, the whole promo, Noam Dar was like, "I take this serious." Mark Andrews, he's the one who's in a band. He's the one who skateboards and does all his bullshit. He doesn't take this seriously. But then when you saw the match, it was the opposite. And he was going after the leg. Like they said, Mark Andrews' leg is injured, and it's like, okay, Noam Dar, he does a lot of knee bars, ankle locks. So it's like, okay, the first 2 rounds he was really going after that leg, and then like you said, we lead into the 3rd round, and that's when he catches the knee bar and he gets the first submission. But
exactly, and then we got to see these guys, but like you said, no explanation for this.
Yeah, and
scouting maybe, but why?
Yeah,
like the bracket is not even the same.
Yeah, they came out, and I was waiting for them to either attack or do something. I'm like, are they going to kidnap Dami Luna? I'm like, what's going on here?
That would be legit.
I love when on commentary when Nigel's like, oh, she wants Noam Dar. Why is she flirting with him? She's distracting him. That was like, that's legit.
McGinnis is actually really good at like when he wants to be heel. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
But
like you said,
I mean, then
Slumdog Millionaire, but like you said, the first fall is right there when Noam catches him, and then he does like the ankle lock. So that was good. I enjoyed it a lot. And like you said, Paul, and then you see like he was trying to just play out of like the injury, and then you see like this, then Mark Andrews actually get the tie, and of course like they do a pinfall combination. That's always the same thing. So like I like Heritage Cup matches, but it's always like the same type of falls. So I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, I don't care for like the same type of formula, and I was actually not that I wanted Noam Dar to just win 2-0 and just be like just bury this guy, but in round 4 for it to come like just halfway through, like you said, boom, he just rolls him up 1-2, and you just see Noam, and I'm just like, I know he's not going to kick out, and I'm like, and then there it is, it ties it up, and like you try to get excited for the baby face, even though I like the heel more. But I can't because it was just like you said, such a lousy pinfall. It's like
as always, and also because the camera, like how they shot it, is just like is this to get pinned because it will be a different angle if it wasn't.
Me, I was like roll ups like that. If like you send a guy and he goes like head first into the turnbuckle and he's like and then you like roll him up because he's like drowsy or something. That
would be better. Yeah. I would like that much better. But you said like Noam Dar, there was like some distraction by Dami Luna. Like, but he was trying to distract Noam Dar, but like to get like
he was actually like up on the ropes, and then Noam Dar goes behind him to roll him up again. But I don't know if the ref didn't see it or I didn't see it right, but it almost looked like he did like a back like mule kick, but he like kicked him in the nuts or something. I don't know. I think he kicked him low. Happened. Yeah,
and then he set up for like his finisher.
Yeah, and the big Enziguri, 1, 2, 3. Noam Dar wins, the right winner. Like we said, he's got to be in the finals, I think, in his bracket. Because he's so good. To me, he should be the one to beat Tyler Bate for it, honestly, if you're not going to do Tio Man. But, I'm glad Noam Dar won here.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like we get to see the frustration from Danny Luna, so Icos, and then also like stop with like Isla but like we got to see the bracket right here. Let me just take care of take the ticker right here. There you go. So like everybody can see how it is, and it's like Noam Dar is gonna go against the winner of like Oliver Carter and Kenny Williams. So I'm thinking here, if they want to do babyface, I would just do like Oliver Carter, but I'm thinking Kenny Williams deserves it.
In a match like this isn't for the title. This isn't the finals. You can do heel versus heel. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, that's a easier match to book than a babyface versus babyface. But, that's why I would go with Kenny Williams, because he needs to win just to get his character over.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And like I said, he wouldn't. Don't be surprised if, maybe somebody interferes, if there might be some bullshit distraction, causes Noam Dar to lose, because don't be surprised if Kenny Williams is the dark horse to win this whole thing.
That could be also like, exactly. And then we're going to see like also Wolfgang against Bradwell, and like you said, Tio Man kind of scouting. I don't know why, but like he already thinks he's going to be in the final because he has to beat Nathan Frazier first. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But like you said, a pretty good match, and at least we always get that. And NXT UK has a big tool in those type of matches. But like in the end, Noam Dar celebrating, really happy about it. And next week also, like aside of the women's championship match, we're gonna get the NXT Tag Team Championship. Like you guys can see, Monster Mountain against Pretty Deadly for those belts, and you can see right there how blow a kiss and then he leaves. So good ending for NXT UK. I feel like pretty decent show. That's what we gotta say. And it wasn't marvelous. It wasn't extraordinary, but at least it does what it's supposed to do. And the fact that it's only an hour is so much watchable. It's so much easier to watch. So family, thank you so very much to every single one of you that watches every single time. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscriptions. Please keep doing so. Don't forget to give the video a like and hit the bell for notifications, because tomorrow we have SmackDown. We're going to be talking about everything that happens on SmackDown. We have a few more shows, before like a SummerSlam, 2 more shows. John Cena is going to be back, the Summer of Cena, as you guys can see. So family, where else can they find us, Paul?
And then, guys, make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. And, of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So, family, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...